Carl, I'm standing here with Doug from Manchester. You've got something you want to rant about. Tell me what that was.
I'd like to rant. Oh man, the list is endless of what to rant about. But oh boy, where to start?
We're at the Ron Paul sine wave, by the way. That's why you hear all the honking.
Well, I talked with Boyd over here. He explained the win-win movement, some kind of project win-win, and asked me about a concern. And the first concern that I said, I don't even know if this is my number one concern because, like I said, there's so many of them, is overseas spending, the spread of our empire across seas, and how we are just lingering in so many countries from past wars that we've won, and we don't need to be there anymore. We're paying for that. You and me are paying for that. I don't know, it sucks that's happening.
I guess the solution is pretty simple. It's just leave, for the most part.
Yeah, I think just leave. Also, not just leave, but we have to rethink of why we're going into these situations in the first place. Because we could just pull out, and but are we going to have a declaration of war when we go someplace new now? You know what I mean? What's the motive?
Oh, I'm guessing
new?
No.
Yeah.
Then they might have to actually treat people like they were people.
Exactly.
Yeah. They might actually have to treat some of these combatants as well as Nazis.
Yep.
Can't have that.
Right. I'm a big fan.
They might have to treat them the way the German army treated their prisoners.
Exactly.
They can't treat them that nicely, can they? No. Well, they're war prisoners anyway.
Yes.
They're U.S. war prisoners.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too broad about the German treatment because some of it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh boy. I am a big fan of the Golden Rule. Also, I actually saw a video that you just did recently. I haven't watched one of your videos since I think 2008, but I just happened to watch one last night. And you were explaining how you met someone and you decided to just talk with them and give them a chance and treat them like a person, a human being. I didn't watch the whole video, but I watched some of it.
I don't even remember it.
Well, you were talking about meeting someone who appeared to be from the Middle East, and we look at people like that, and the first thought that comes up is maybe I don't want to think that they're a terrorist, but still sometimes that pops up, you know what I mean?
He was from Saudi, actually. I remember that now.
Right.
Yeah.
And just treating people like you want to be treated, I think, is a very important thing, both on a personal level and on a government level. I think that we need to stand for respect for our country, not just spreading our force around the world. And I think that we're really doing ourselves some harm by not just having respect for other people. And I think it's going to come back and bite us eventually. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know if I'll be here.
It's interesting how there has been, there really hasn't been that much reaction inside the United States. I mean, you think if people hated us around the world that much, and they wanted to actually hurt civilian Americans, it'd be very easy for them to do, and it would have happened already because individuals can do it by themselves.
Right.
Unfortunately, apparently there's not much hate out there really for the individual American because hardly anyone is committing terrorist acts against Americans in the U.S.
Right.
I don't think that's because the FBI is stopping it all. I think that's because the people just don't really want to kill American civilians.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what's going on in Europe, but I hear that people don't like us there very much. And France especially. I don't know what to do with France is.
Well, the country's unpopular the same way the Soviet Union was unpopular when it did this kind of stuff.
I'm not used to talking in front of a camera.
No, that's right.
I run dry at words sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm sitting by myself, I think about these things like, oh, I should have put it that way or whatever. I could have said this, but I'm in front of the camera now, so...
well, now, in terms of details, let's just take one or two examples. Like, what's a country or part of the world that you feel you know the most about?
A country that I know the most about?
Yeah, a foreign country.
Oh, foreign countries? Let's see. I've been to Tonga before.
Okay, does the U.S. have a presence in Tonga?
Not that
we shouldn't even have to ask. Should we? It should be like, no.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think so. I didn't see one when I was there, and I walked right through the main city.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But the government is probably indirectly involved in Tonga in some way.
Yeah.
How do you think they should disengage in Tonga? Any thoughts?
How they should disengage?
The feds.
What do you...
I mean, there probably is some federal involvement in Tonga. What complications is it going to cause for them to disengage with Tonga? And how is that going to be dealt with?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the only thing I know about Tonga and its involvement with other governments is they own actually satellite space. That's where they make a lot of their money. They own some amount of space above Tonga, and satellites that go through there, they make some portion of money on.
Really?
Yep. At least that's what I heard. I'm not an expert on Tonga, but I went there.
Where do I get my satellite money? There was one that goes over my place, I think.
Yeah, well, you know who owns that. You don't own your place.
That's true. All right.
I don't know. I know a little bit about Iceland.
Now that's an interesting case.
Yeah. And I know they like to be left alone.
Well, they were occupied up until very recently, until 2006 by U.S. troops, and then they were occupied by the British during World War II, and it was real occupation. It wasn't just a base or two. So their independence for them is very tenuous and very recent. They were a part of Denmark up until 47, weren't they? If I recall correctly.
So, yeah. Yep.
So you have any thoughts about the federal relations with Denmark? I mean, I'm sorry, with Iceland?
Do I have concerns about them getting out? Yeah.
Any thoughts about the way they should get out? With the concerns about what they're going to do while they're there?
It is irrelevant to me.
Okay.
I don't know how it would cause anything. I don't know too much about our relation with them. I just know some things about the country. I know some things about the culture and the people there. Not a whole lot about the government.
Okay.
I am pretty much, I'm not too smart when it comes to political things. I don't know how to talk well about it. I don't know the right words to say. I'm kind of like one of those guys that during 2007, holding like a Dr. Paul cured my apathy kind of sign.
At least you're on the right side.
What?
At least you're on the right side.
Right, and my eyes have been open to certain things that are going on. I guess one of the things that I just really see with my own eyes that I've more seen for myself. I'm not just taking other people's word for it. Is the media and the way that they are skewing the election, the way that it's in their hand. They've already put up the front runner. Rick Perry's polls are going up before he was even in the race. And who knew about Rick Perry?
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about him, and I know a few things about him now, but no one knew about him. He was chosen, and people think, well, he looks like a strong guy. He looks like the kind of guy that could, have a strong say and maybe beat Obama. But what's he stand for? Why is he different? What's he going to do that's different? How is he different than the two parties? How's he going to stand above the mistakes that the Republican Party made last time? I don't know. I don't see any evidence that he would. Maybe he will. But I think Ron Paul will. I'm pretty sure he will, because he's been saying it for 30 years, and even if you don't agree with everything he says, I mean, you have to give it to him. He's an honest guy, and he's been sticking to his guns for that long and taking just bashing from all sides.
All right. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you.